video too. Here we go. So we're gonna prepare the wire. This is difficult. I'm gonna be honest. I've actually done this a couple takes already. 1/4" plugs are not easy. It's super easy with XLR, but 1/4" is hard. And the big thing is you got to get the length right. In the end, this cable's gonna be stuck through here, and you're gonna use a pair of pliers and you're gonna clamp down on these little crimps or clamps or whatever they are. And they're gonna hold, they're the strain relief so that when you pull on the wire, and I don't know how many hundreds of guitar cables I've pulled on, most people pull on guitar cables. When you pull on the cable, you don't wanna pull on the solder joint, you wanna pull on this crimp. So it's really important that in the end, the crimp is on the black rubber jacket, it's not on the inner conductors, otherwise you'll just pull it and it will rip. So we have to get this very specific in length, and from the crimp to the solder point, it's about 1 centimeter. So you're not actually in 1 centimeter, is about yay big. So it's not a big strip. I will strip it a little bit farther than that because it's and I can cut it down afterwards. And another interesting thing is I actually want the tip wire to be a little longer because I'm going to feed it through a little hole and I can cut it down afterwards. So I usually go for a little bit longer than 1 centimeter, and depends on the plug. If you're using a different plug, here's a different one, or if you're making a 3-conductor one, you have to be much more specific about the lengths. Here's the hard point. It depends on the wire you're working with, and as I found from my previous take, this particular wire is kind of hard to work with. It has a braided shield, and it seems to get cut pretty easily. I'm going to use my largest holes, and I'm going to gently cut in around, and I'm kind of digging. You could do this with a razor blade or other tool. You don't have to do it with a pair of strippers. And once I feel like I've adequately kind of got the rubber to work, I'm gonna kind of just pull on it. And if you hear ripping noises, which I'm hearing, if you end up ripping the shield a whole lot, you got to do it again. I heard a little tiny bit of ripping noises, and you can see there's a little bit of mess there, but it's not that bad. If it's way ripped down at the bottom, start over. You want to keep your shield relatively intact. This is a braided shield, which is harder to work with, but most guitar cables actually have braided shields. And I'm going to use a little poker, in this case a screwdriver, and I'm going to go to the area where I made my cut, and you can see kind of some of the wires falling off that I cut. Not enough here, there's plenty of shield here. And I'm gonna undebraid it here. Debraid, is that a word? Unbraid. Take it apart. And I'm almost there. There we go. Once that's all good, I'm gonna try to get all the little wires off on a right angle here out of the way. I don't want any stray wires because they can short. And next thing I'm gonna do is try to get these nasty little cottony stuff out of here. Cotton stuff is cotton or paper or plastic is often there to help the coil wind nicely or lay flat on the floor. And a pair of scissors works great on getting rid of those things. Although your cutters will work too if you don't have a pair of scissors. And get that out of the way. And then I'm going to take this particular wire. Is interesting in that it has copper and nickel. They're both, the copper is called a drain wire. I think you can just solder with that, and they are connecting to each other. They are electrically conductive. I'm gonna wrap them together. I'm not gonna wrap them together too tight right now because I may unwrap them depending on what I'm trying to do, but I don't think I will. Anyway, I just have a little bit more. So I've kind of roughly prepared it. In a moment, I'm gonna do some stripping. Oh, hey, this is an unbalanced cable, right? It's just a tip and a sleeve. I don't need the 3rd conductor. I could strip them both and twist them together, but that just makes it way more complicated. I am going to just cut it off. Okay, and then let's just stop right there and we'll start up in a moment.